work with now.
So, are your worries a little bit more? Your worries a little bit more behind you?
No, I'm still on probation.
Okay. Probation for what?
You're on like a probation period in case you do anything wrong. And there's one guy that likes to instigate between me and another guy with Trump and stuff.
That's already happening?
Yeah.
Is it Diego?
No, it's another guy, but it's all in good fun.
Okay. Well, then there you go. So then hopefully you'll survive. You'll survive probation. Hey, anyway, well, we're here tonight. We're going to be talking a little bit about... I have another letter or two about autumn traditions that'll go hand in hand with some readings from an obscure... Oh, shit! I forgot the Book of Scottish Customs. I forgot it. It was Strange Scottish Customs. It's an old, weird book, and damn it. What have I done? Well, I got to take that out.
Do you remember any of them?
No, what are you kidding me? No, I read a few, and I said, I got to bring this on air in October. And
well, maybe you can find, an excerpt from it online.
No, I don't know. Maybe during the break I'll look around to see if anything exists like that, but it's really obscure, so I have it at home. I don't know. October's not done yet. Maybe I'll bring it in sometime next week. I knew that you would like it. But, okay. Well, looks like I have to do a little editing to the description of the show, and we'll see if I have to do some editing to the title of the show as well. We've got a little bit on, I don't know, a really great doppelganger story I got to read to you. Some more random bits, and that should brew up some conversation. I'm going to take some calls from you guys, and we're just going to have a good time. There's plenty to do. Thank you to BlueMonsterPrep.com for sponsoring us this week and every week. Wonderful people, Pat and Gina. We got to check in with them on Wednesday night, and I'm glad that we did. So go check out all of our affiliates on QuiteFrankly.tv, the affiliates page there. It's not just survival prep. It's not that at all. You've got chocolate. You've got gold and silver. QuiteFrankly.gold. Very amazing, reputable gold and silver dealers. Not just it's all physical. Even if you get into the IRAs, that's all backed by physical stuff. It's never paper, always metal. So check that out and everything else on QuiteFrankly.tv. Far more on the affiliates page. Then get into the forum. Then get into the blog and read some amazing things that we have there. Just chilling. Always relevant stuff on the blog, and then just watch the shows. You can watch and interact with the shows right there on the front page, which is going to be coming front and center to a lot more that we do with the 7 o'clock show soon. You're going to see, but anyway, that's what we're doing to kick off tonight. All right, first things first. Let's go into the grab bag, shall we? I know that Matt is going to. He's not going to like this news, but I'm sure he already knows. But Bert Young, Oscar nominated for his role as Paulie in the original Rocky, dies at age 83. That's
he's a national treasure.
Yeah.
Uncle Paulie.
That's Bobby Bacala's father too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he pulled one last hit and then died of a heart attack.
One last hit.
Sylvester Stallone, he's close to 83 himself, kind of, right? What is he, like 76? He's never gonna die though.
How old is Sylvester?
He's like 76.
Hey Siri, how old
old
is Sylvester Stallone? Hey Siri.
See, he looks so good you can't believe it.
Hey Siri. You son of a bitch. She doesn't answer me sometimes. I think she watched last night's show. Let's see. That's upsetting. 83. Bert Young, born April 30th, 1940 in Queens after getting kicked out of school. Joined the Marines at age 16. You said he was a boxer, huh?
He was a boxer. Customato trained him. He was a good boxer too.
Yeah.
He was like 33-1.
Well, there you have it. So, hats off. Now, over to this. Now, I got a couple of weird ones for you, Matt. A lot of weird news tonight. Here's the first one. This is from the New York Post, if you can believe it. Man in rocking car was found having sex with a stuffed animal. It's not this guy. That's not him. That's the judge that was just shot dead in his apartment in Maryland or something. It's this guy. He looks a little bit more like a guy who would have sex with
What kind of stuffed animal was it?
I know, that makes all the difference. Let's get to it. A 55-year-old Arkansas man was discovered in a compromising position in a rocking car, allegedly having sex with a stuffed animal. A deputy with the Baxter County Sheriff's Office arrived at Midway Store and Lock, a commercial storage facility, at around 12:45 a.m. It's nearly 1 o'clock in the morning. This guy's having a date with a stuffed animal in a car.
He's probably on crystal meth.
It has to be. That looks like a crystal meth face as well.
Yeah, it does. There's a meth-fueled sex romp.
Is it actually sex?
He's having sex with something. That's what he knows.
October 8th, this happened. He stated that he observed that the vehicle was rocking, said the county sheriff's officer. When the deputy peered inside, he observed Theodore T. Morgaven III. Oh, man. What shame he brought to the second and to Junior.
Yeah. To the whole Morgaven name.
The Morgaven name, the dignity and the integrity of the Morgaven name stopped with this face right there. All of those years.
Of shit.
All of those years. All of those years.
You suck!
Anyway, we're talking about this guy's, he's got a lot of things going on here. All right. The deputy found a purse. Oh, hold on. The sheriff's office did not give any detail about what kind of animal it was. See, we need to know what kind of animal
That matters.
this was.
What if it was like, an underage doll? It was like a doll that's supposed to be like an underage girl. What if it was,
Well, the fact that it was an animal, that they're saying that it was a stuffed animal
yeah.
that
Was it a giraffe?
I don't know. What if it was an underage giraffe?
A hippo?
The deputy then found a purse containing 2 marijuana pipes and 1 syringe.
A marijuana pipe.
During the search of the car, while another deputy found about 3 grams of methamphetamine. There you go. You're right.
I'm always right.
I'm always right about the drug. The new, he had sex with a stuffed animal? Meth. I knew right off the bat, and I'm reading this for the first time right here. 2 marijuana pipes. I said no. We'll get rid of that.
No one smokes, uses pipes anymore for that stuff.
No. You get yourself a nice bowl, maybe a bubbler, if you're fancy, and the last thing that you want to do after you smoke a bowl is have sex with a stuffed animal.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, this is a disclaimer for all the children out there. There's a couple more like this. So
they'll find out about it.
Yeah, get the hell out of here. The news outlet reported. So there you have it.
It's from Con Air.
Why did they put that there?
He banged the rabbit from Con Air.
They put that there just to instigate people. They don't know. They don't know what it is, or they weren't going to tell anybody what the animal is. But they put a rabbit there just to make everybody go crazy.
Rabbit doll for sale. It's in good condition. It's got a little jizz staining on it, a couple of holes,
but otherwise in good condition. Here's another one for you, Matt. You ready for this? Cops. Worker burgled home for a sex doll. Now, a funeral home worker, this is weird, man. All this is weird. A funeral home worker responsible for transporting dead bodies in Nebraska County is suspected of having an intimate encounter with a life-size sex doll he found in the apartment of a deceased person, according to court records. See, this is the other reason, aside from all the other obvious reasons why owning a sex doll is just completely messed up.
Since it wasn't his sex doll, technically he raped it, right?
I guess. I think sex with a sex doll is in line with necrophilia.
Maybe he was banging some corpses too.
Dude, let me tell you, when I read this, I thought that's where this story was going. Thankfully, it did not. It's just that he went to go pick up the body of a recently deceased person, and while he was there picking up here, look, near the body on the bed was a very real life-size sex doll, an investigator reported. Police alleged that Smith, that's the guy's name, Ryan Smith, 41 years old. Smith subsequently called the property manager and claimed that the local sheriff had asked him to remove the sex doll to collect swabs for biopsy, he said. So he's like, to imagine going in there to retrieve a dead body, seeing a sex doll, probably something that he had recently used before he croaked, seeing the doll on the bed with the dead body and saying, I've got to find a way to get that. I've got to find a way to get this. He's not using it anymore. I got to find a way. Dude, what the hell is wrong with people?
He probably smokes PCP.
Smith's strange request was denied by the manager, who later returned to the apartment to discover that Smith was inside the unit, which had been locked with a deadbolt and chain. He got in there.
Oh, damn.
I mean, he needed this thing.
He was determined.
After Smith exited the home with his shirt untucked and his pants in disarray, the property manager called the cops, who later busted Smith on felony burglary charge. A post-arrest examination revealed sex doll to be sticky, and it appeared that something had rubbed her inner thighs. A deputy collected a sex doll so that it would have to be processed for DNA. Nothing about whether or not he was high on PCP, but I would not be surprised. Jeez, I don't.
Yeah, well, he works in a morgue, so he has access to, dip, formaldehyde.
Here's another one for you. This is from Not the Bee, which I think is a subsidiary of The Bee, where it's like Babylon Bee just does weird news, but it's true. I think it is. I might be wrong. Florida man Johnny Yates, another Florida man story. Johnny Yates didn't want the cops to know where he was, so he did exactly what you'd expect a Florida man to do. Truly, we must thank the Florida man for being a constant and relentless innovator, someone who isn't afraid to take risks and try new things. Who else among us would be bold enough to try a new evasive tactic like this? It's bold, it's visionary, it's Florida man. A Florida man wanted by the cops tried to throw them off his trail by placing a big sign outside of his house reading, "Johnny Yates does not live here." And it did not work.
Genius. Oh, it didn't? Oh,
no, it didn't work.
I thought it'd be like, those gun-free signs where it would actually work.
I know. When deputies arrived, they noticed a note written on a dry erase board in the front window that said, "Johnny Yates does not live here." And, they went and they grabbed him, and that was it.
Good plan, bro.
Yeah, they sent in the K9 unit and everything. And they shot surrender smoke in there as well. So good job, Johnny Yates, and you've lived in infamy for at least 3 minutes on this show. What else do we have? 710? I think that's good enough. Let's just start this off. I want to do a little bit of the Babylon Bee, actually, and then hold on. Let's just do it right now. To hell with it. Here's one for you, Matt. Babylon Bee headlines. Let's get you up over here. Here's the headline. Joe Biden, 4D chess. Biden offers the Palestinians $100 million in exchange for none of the hostages. Just take $100 million. How's that sound? Bub. Buffalo hat wearing Ilhan Omar leads pro-Hamas protesters storming the Capitol. Of course, she's not. She hasn't gotten 2 decades in. Nobody has gotten 2 decades in prison for that yet. Let's see here. Awkward moment. Here's a headline. Awkward moment as Biden plays Despacito on phone for Israeli parliament. Yes. New York Times patiently awaiting Zoom call from Hamas to see what they should print today. Everybody's very cozy with it. This has been one of the most disgusting week of news. I hate everybody. Even more than I thought I could ever hate them. Last one. Liberals replace Star of David on coexist sticker with Hamas paraglider. So, there you have it. A little bit of Babylon Bee. And we'll be right back to start this one off. The number to call tonight, 914-200-0269. Just get... As long as this call is interesting, your thoughts are spicy, then come on, let's get this one started. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up.
Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life.
It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back.
Does anybody else want to stay?
You, I'm sorry to hear that, Corey. Welcome to the show. It's a rainy Friday night in October. It's about to be November, and then Friday will be even more special because then we're going to be coming up on Thanksgiving. A little bit of serious news before we get into everything else, because of course last night was a very, it was a historic speech by Joe Biden.
He all in one take. It was definitely live. They didn't film it at an earlier time in the day.
I don't know.
Nailed it.
I don't know.
Nailed it.
Honestly, he might as well be the alien from Fire in the Sky. He looks exactly like him.
Those beady white devil eyes.
Mm-hmm. I hate my gums because they're black.
He looks like a slave owner. He looks like someone that would be a slave owner. And he talks like it too. Boy, he calls someone boy. Who'd he call boy recently?
I don't know. He tries to be like a hip old man who is just kind of set in his ways, but he's kind of badass that way, but he's not.
Yeah, no, he's not badass. He's just a piece of shit.
Anyway, here is like a 2-minute compilation of some of the things he said last night, which was really just a calling for us to fight like hell for now on the Israeli front and the Ukrainian front. Listen to how
Why is Trump getting involved in these wars?
I don't know. World War III, collapsing economy. Damn you, Trump.
Good evening, my fellow Americans.
What's
We're
that?
facing an inflection point in history. One of those moments where the decisions we make today are going to determine the future for decades to come. That's what I'd like to talk with you about tonight. Early this morning, I returned from Israel. They tell me I'm the first American president to travel there during the war.
They tell me I did something incredible. I don't know about that. I just do what I have to do. You know what I mean?
So brave.
They tell.
I met with the prime minister and members of his cabinet. And most movingly, I met with Israelis who had personally lived through horrific horror of the attack by Hamas on the 7th of October.
I pray that nobody out there has to live through horrific horror ever in their lives. Who else did he meet with while he was there?
The assault on Israel echoes nearly 20 months of war, tragedy, and brutality inflicted on the people of Ukraine. Hamas and Putin represent different threats.
He's just making he's just bridging it all together. He wants to make sure that we know that the Hamas threat, the Putin threat. No, he's trying. He'll make sense of it for you. Don't worry.
I think it's weird because one country is full of Jewish people and one country is harboring real Nazis, right?
It's incredible, right?
But they share this in common. They both want to completely annihilate a neighboring democracy, completely annihilate it. I know these conflicts can seem far away, and it's natural to ask, why does this matter to America? So let me share with you why making sure Israel and Ukraine succeed is vital for America's national security. History has taught us that when terrorists don't pay a price for their terror, when dictators don't pay a price for their aggression, they cause more chaos and death and more destruction. They keep going, and the cost and the threats to America and the world keep rising.
That's it. So when terrorists and when dictators are allowed to be terrorists and dictators, eventually it's going to be a problem for America. So we just have to go out there. We have to put our foot down and stop the a seemingly unstoppable tide of Hamas. The unstoppable tide of Hamas, because once they take Israel back, then they're coming for the whole world. Hamas. It's just, I would love to suggest a few targets. If that's just what we're going to do, if America's security interest is based on just arbitrarily bombing bad guys wherever they can be found, even if they haven't attacked the United States, then I'd like to add some names to the bomb list. I don't think they would like it. I'd like to add some. Can we all suggest people that we think are terrorists and dictators to this list? I think that would be incredible. So there he is. So there is our demented bag of diaper shit president. And what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say to that? I don't know. I just don't know anymore, Matt. Getting closer to something, though. Getting closer.
Getting closer, World War III.
It almost seems like to use that phrase is not appropriate anymore. I feel like that is really already playing out, and who the hell knows? It just doesn't make any sense. All right, let's take some calls from people. 914-200-0269. It's Friday, and we're just going to jump around a little bit. Here's one thing to jump around with. I wanted to do one more autumn tradition. Here's from, who the hell is this from? Kelly. Listen to this. Said, "Hi, Frank. I just watched your show from last night. I recently learned of a strange tradition I thought you would find funny." This was the 2 nights ago. Look up the wife-carrying championship. You ever hear about that one? I've seen that one, I think.
Yeah, I think I've heard of that.
I think that multiple places have wife-carrying championships, but I've seen one on a reel recently that was like they're almost like running in a standing 69 position, so they can sling their thighs over the shoulders and actually run a little bit more unimpeded. It's actually like technically and mechanically proficient way of running with another person on top of you. But let's see, where the hell is it? The wife carrying championship they have here in Maine at Sunday River. You can win your wife's weight in beer and 5 times her weight in cash. I also found some Scottish Halloween traditions to share with you from a book I have on my shelf. I wonder if it's the same book. In the Scottish Highlands, the Celtic... Oh, man, I pay... Jerry, if you call in, tell me it's Celtic Bure. Celtic Bure, or the blue-faced hag, known as the daughter of the winter sun, personified winter. She was reborn every Samhain Eve. What's Samhain Eve, Jerry?
All Hallows Eve.
Is that it?
Yes.
She brought with her the cleansing snow of winter and traveled the land, killing any remaining crops with her magical staff. On Beltane, when the summer sun ousted the winter sun, she put away her staff and turned herself to stone until the following winter. Farmers left the last sheaf of the harvest in the field until Samhain, ensuring it was cut before dusk to prevent the hag from becoming an evil witch. They dressed the sheaf as an old woman, filled her apron pockets with bread and cheese, and carried her back to the farm to preside over the Samhain feast. She was kept in a place of honor until Beltane and then burned on a ritual fire. Man, that is a lot of work. That's a lot of work, man. Here's another tradition. In Scotland, children would disguise themselves to fool evil spirits and go guising. Rowdy groups of boys went door to door, banging loudly and demanding entrance to perform songs and poems and collect their reward. Similarly, in Ireland, rowdy boys wearing antlered masks and ran around whooping and loudly blowing horns. They would bang on farmers' doors, chanting verses in Gaelic, then demand money, or Bulin bread. Happy autumn. Love your show, Kelly.
Bulin bread.
We just had toilet paper. If we would just, string toilet paper, there would be, somebody would throw slices of bologna on a car that they don't like, or
eggs. Car, throw a pumpkin through the back of a car window.
A pumpkin, do you do that? I never did a pumpkin through anything.
We didn't mean to do it. I didn't do it. Someone we were with did it, and it broke the window. We didn't mean to do it. We just wanted to smash the pumpkin on the car, and it broke the back of the window.
Did you run away? Did you ever fess up?
We were in a car.
Did everybody know it was you?
No, but it was a thing in school. Like, and they saw someone broke such and such window with a pumpkin, and we were just all laughing about it.
So it never came around. You got away with it.
Nah, it was like 5 of us in the car. We didn't tell anyone.
All right. Well, it's one of those things. Sometimes you get away with things. Sometimes you don't. So call in 914-200-0269, and we go away with that. I also have, we'll take this call right here, and then we'll get around to this other thing. I have a story about a wrongfully accused person, a man who was innocent of murder but went to jail for it anyway. He was actually exonerated by fans of a true crime podcast. We'll got to talk about that later. Call, you're on the air.
Hey, just a quick one.
Hey, what's going on?
The purple-haired witch you're talking about, she lives in Connecticut, and she's a senator. It's Rosa DeLaura. I had to say it. You were just talking about her. I don't know if it was a poem or future thing or whatever you were talking about, but that's what it is.
Yeah, that was I was actually talking about Scottish folklore, but she could have hitched a boat ride over here.
No, she's Rosa DeLaura. She's the purple-haired bitch in Connecticut, Senator something next to Skeletor and Chris Murphy.
Yes, you're right. You're right. She probably
Come on, man.
she carpet bagged over here.
I'm not a Balchinian, okay?
I get you. I get you. No, she probably carpet bagged over here like the rest of them. So, all right.
All right, Frank. Hey, man, I'm glad you're having fun at work.
Thanks, man.
I'm surprised you passed the DEI test. Or the DIE test. Did you die yet?
What was that? The diversity test? Is that a diversity test you're talking about? What's the DEI test?
Yeah.
Hey, John, real quick, would you be okay with, at some point in the future, would you be okay with us sending up a 1 or 2 man film crew to stay with you and your wife for a weekend and just document your life?
No problem.
Okay. One day.
I got a guy, man. Rico.
Okay, we'll talk about
He's
that.
Italian like you. Yeah, he's made lots of movies. Knows Vin Diesel and all kinds of people.
Oh, all right. Well, maybe we can get Vin Diesel in the movie.
Yeah. It ain't my first day on a job, kid. I've been on strike forever. I got that screen card.
Okay. All right, well,
I only had a movie once for 2 seconds in it. I always tell the truth.
You're right. Well, we'll figure that out. All right, you and Hannah have a good night, all right?
Hey, all right.
Okay.
Back. Congratulations on
See ya.
your job.
Thank you.
All right, there you go. So we'll go visit Willie and Hannah and turn it into a documentary. Let's take a call from King. What's going on, King? What's on your mind?
Hey, what's happening, man?
Welcome.
What's up?
Hey, is it okay if I talk about the guest you had on last night real quick?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
She seemed like a very nice lady. I liked her. And I wish I could have got through to be able for her to hear this. So I'm not a religious guy personally, but I know she says she's a Christian, and you got a lot of Christians in your audience. And I would just like to say to her and Christians, well, first of all, if I look right now at what's going on, and if I just read history, I would dare to say Christians and Christianity is probably the most persecuted and bullied religion in history. Others would say different, but that's my opinion. And my advice to Christians would be, you guys can say no. Christianity, the Christians are always being told what they have to tolerate. No other religion is told you have to tolerate this, and that religion goes, oh, okay, we will. So Christians, I'm not saying beat people up. I'm not saying be violent, but, stand strong in your beliefs and tell people no. Guess what? No, you know what? We don't tolerate that here, and that's just how it goes.
I think that I think that's something that we can all learn a lesson about, because they're just, it really comes on down the line. It really does, doesn't it? Because it finds you whether you have faith, if you're religious or not. You start realizing, oh shit, this same scheme is being tailored and customized for me, just like it is for the person next to me and their life, and it's just like the same shit gets customized for everybody. So if you think you're outside of one bubble, don't worry, they're coming for yours next.
Yeah, well, and some groups won't allow it.
Exactly.
And Christians, you guys shouldn't allow what you don't want either. If you don't want to tolerate something, then don't. And don't feel like bad because you don't. Doesn't make you hateful. It's just like something you don't want. You're allowed to say no, and you're allowed to stand up for your beliefs. Like I said, I'm not a particularly religious guy, but I am a right and wrong guy, and I don't like seeing people pushed around.
King, that was the first step. That was the first thing that happened to me about, I don't know, 10, maybe about 10 years ago. No. It was a couple of years after I started doing this show. and I started spending a little bit more time reading the news, current events, and weaving it into other topics, and really looking at society in ways that wasn't just pure smash mouth kind of comedy like we were doing with Zerals in New York. And when I started doing that a little bit more, the first thing I started, I wasn't very religious either. I was really still on that agnostic front, and then suddenly I the first thing I found myself doing was coming to the defense of Christians and people who were just standing firm in their beliefs and getting attacked for it, especially in veiled ways to give more power to government and the people who own governments, and then at that point I said, okay, well, here I am coming to the defense, and I see I see the targeting, I see the bullying, and then after that is when I start really conceptualizing and seeing real evil, spiritual evil manifest.
Yeah.
And once I start seeing real evil manifest, I start wondering what the counterbalance is to that, and I start asking better questions about God himself. So I'm not, everybody's path is different, but I'm just, what you just brought up right there reminded me of what really started the ball rolling downhill for me again, and with my little reversion here.
Well, thank you for taking my call, sir.
Well, thank you, King. It's great to hear from you. And I don't know when the hell we're going to get this started, but we still have to do our steak night with you, me, and the boys, and have you on for a Saturday night again.
We'll work it out.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, brother.
All right, bye. Okay. Let's see. Let us see. 914-595. That is just ingrained in me after all those years. 914-200-0269. Call on in. What do you have to say? We already got, just bring it. Just bring the heat tonight. It is, it's Friday, and we're just doing our thing. Hello to everybody on Rumble. Hello to everybody across everything. You send in those super chats, those Rumble rants, and I'd love to get around to them in turn. So here's one thing for you. Matt, I think you'll like this story. It's interesting. The fans of a true crime podcast just helped exonerate an innocent man wrongly imprisoned. Now, I would love to know anybody out there who's had any kind of wrongful accusation, or if you've been wrongfully imprisoned. I would love to hear from you after this, too. That can be another mini topic. James Reyes was convicted of brutally murdering Father Patrick Ryan in December of 1981, but has now been exonerated thanks to Harley and Michael Gerke, two fans of the true crime podcast Crime Junkie. Now, the reason why I wanted to grab this for a little side conversation on this show is because, remember everybody, when we had Mike King on the show from Profiling Evil, which I have to have him back on soon, one of the things we were talking about was overzealous people on the internet just using open source information and just doing their thing, the power of information gathering just from consumer grade technologies to go out there and insert themselves into ongoing investigations or cold cases or whatever. And what he was saying was not that people are not he wasn't saying that people are incapable of actually doing detective work just as well as anybody else, but that they could at times do good work and go about presenting the work in an unruly way that would negate all of the evidence that they've collected and actually ruin the chances of getting a trial go in the direction of justice being served. This, I would have to imagine, is an example of people, average people on the internet, doing detective work and it actually working out. Like countless others, Harley and Michael Gerke like to spend long drives listening to true crime podcasts, but while listening to an episode of Crime Junkie about the 1981 murder of Father Patrick Ryan, as they drove home to visit family in Odessa, Texas, they began to suspect that something about the convicted killer, James Reyes, didn't add up. Now, thanks to their hunch, Reyes has been exonerated after 40 years. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy my total freedom, Reyes told the Texas Monthly. I don't have to think about going to my parole officer or paying parole fees. The story starts back in 1981 when Ryan picked up Reyes as a hitchhiker. The two struck up a casual friendship, and the priest soon afterward invited Reyes to dinner at his house. In December 20th of 81, Reyes showed up with a family photo album to show Ryan, that's the priest, and shared several beers and screwdrivers with him. But then the night turned when Ryan, who was almost twice Reyes' size, forced him to perform oral sex.
Gee.
The priest. Let's see here. Despite the sexual assault, Reyes asked the priest to drive him to his car in Hobbs, New Mexico the next day. Ryan agreed, and their goodbye in New Mexico was the last time Reyes saw Ryan alive. That night, the priest was brutally beaten and sexually assaulted at a seedy motel in Odessa. I probably went there to find just cruising at that point. It didn't take the police long to track down Reyes, who had left his family photo album at Ryan's home. The Los Angeles Times reports that Reyes had a strong alibi, gas station receipts, and speeding ticket that proved that he was far away from the murder scene. The fingerprints found at the scene didn't match his, and he even passed a polygraph test. But Reyes also had a guilty conscience. When Ryan had driven him to Hobbs, he had also picked up another hitchhiker, and Reyes became convinced that his own request for a ride home had led to the priest's death. So a year later, Reyes drunkenly confessed to killing Ryan. It just kept eating at me, eating at me, eating at me. I should have just hitchhiked to Hobbs. I'd done it before, Reyes said. So why would you confess to just because you're drunk? Though Reyes recanted his confession, he was promptly found guilty and sentenced to 38 years in 1983. Though Reyes was released in 1995, he continued to have trouble with the law and eventually served 24 years. Meanwhile, he told Texas Monthly that he felt like he had a flashing sign on his forehead which told other people guilty or murderer. Years later, Harley and Michael Gerke heard the story on Crime Junkie. They said, we heard it and we were like, man, there's no way he could have done this. We definitely thought it should be looked into more, and it just so happens that Michael's dad is the chief of police in Odessa, and we are going to see him in an hour. There you go. Michael's father checked out the case file, agreed that their assessment, though the evidence from Ryan's murder was thought to have been destroyed, the police department still had copies of the fingerprint templates. They were able to run them through the national database, which had not existed at the time of Reyes' conviction, and found that the fingerprints matched 3 other men, all now deceased. It became pretty clear, wow, there was absolutely no physical evidence to show that Reyes was in that motel room. So on October 4th of this year, he was formally exonerated by Texas Court Criminal Appeals, which ordered that he be compensated, listen to this, $80,000 for each year he was for each year he was wrongfully imprisoned.
Damn. Good for him.
So he's just on he's on a whole other kick now.
Yeah, he's above the law now with that kind of money.
Now he should go out and actually kill somebody. Just get his money's worth. Let's take a call. 208, you're on the air.
Frank, hey, what's going on?
Hey, who's this?
This is Night Songs.
What's going on, sir? How you been?
I've been doing good. How about you guys?
Not bad. We're just chilling over here. What's on your mind tonight? Anything?
Well, I got a couple things. I'm glad Matt's there with you. What's up, Matt?
Hey, what's going on, man?
I got a Stallone thing for the movie memorabilia.
Oh, okay. Let's hear about it.
Okay, so First Blood. One of the greatest movies ever. Actually, I've been watching that movie since I was a kid. I got every line memorized. And you know what that movie always taught me?
What?
Fuck authority.
It definitely shows you that it's not always on your side. That's for sure.
That's for sure. You know, I mean, everything that's going on right now in Israel and Pakistan, all these people eating this up just like it's candy, just like it's 2020 again with the viral, you know, jabbity jabs coming your way. Well, those are the same people that are shoving all this down our throats. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's kind of my take on all that. But I've been waiting to call you since last October. I've been listening to you since 2020, actually.
Wow. Okay. Well, we've had one hell of a ride together then, huh? Because I mean,
Absolutely.
Before 2020, any of those real, those OGs that go way back, I mean, we've seen a lot of stuff together. But I think 2020 was a real jump-off point. I met a lot of new audience members came in that year. If I was going to be honest about it, it was probably the most pivotal year in my career so far, just because so many more people were staying home. and people were looking for things to watch, and people were questioning what the hell was being done to them that's never been done to anybody before, and suddenly here we were commiserating with each other. Of course, by the end of that year, many accounts were being, destroyed, so I'm glad that I was able to keep in touch with people like you over the last 3 years, but still, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. What happened to me actually, 9/11, I knew that was bullshit. That was probably my wake-up moment, which it's that way with a lot of people, right? And but 2020, you're right. So once I actually had the time, I got laid off from work for like 2 weeks because of a public safety hazard kind of deal, and then it was almost kind of weird. All these things started popping up on my phone, and then I just started, listening to somebody over here, and then, you know what I'm saying, listen to somebody over there, and then you actually have the time, so you're not so caught up in all the bullshit, right, of your daily life.
Yeah.
And that's how I found you. I found a lot of other people, but yeah, whenever everybody got nuked off of YouTube, I was like, holy shit. And anyways, I'm getting a little bit too far off point. The reason why I wanted to talk to you in October is because I actually have a typo negative story for you, my friend.
Oh, quickly, give me that one.
Okay, so I'm over here in Idaho, and small town Idaho, I'll just say, and typo negative and Coal Chamber and a band called the Deadlights played in a roller rink.
When was that?
And that was the first time. That was in probably 2000 and actually about 2000, actually.
Wow.
2000, yeah.
In a roller rink.
In a roller rink, yeah. So I was right there in front of Peter Steele, and he just had a small 1-foot stage, and the bass player's hair actually got wrapped up in the ceiling tile. Or not the bass player, the keyboardist. He had that big fro.
Yeah, Josh Silver.
Yes.
I would love to.
So his hair got stuck in the ceiling tile because he was headbanging.
Well, that's a great story. That's a great story. Thank you for that. I would love to get and I hope you have I hope you have a great Halloween and we have more years together, my friend. I would love to get Josh Silver on the show. Anthony knows some of the members of that band now. In all the years that he's covered, and he's done so many songs and compositions in the style of Typo Negative. I know that he had a personal relationship with Josh Silver, who I don't think plays with anybody. Kenny and Johnny, they've started bands together. We ran into Kenny out in California when we were there once. We actually took a flight home with him, and that was really cool. But Josh, man, everything you can say about Typo Negative. It's the key. It's what is created, the atmosphere created with the keyboards it's indispensable. They would just be carnivore without the keyboards. But yeah, that must have been really, really awesome to see. And Coal Chamber too, right there in a roller rink in Idaho. What do you know? All right, let's take a look into some of these super chats. Matt, when was the last time you've been to a concert? Not counting our shows.
I don't know, bro. I don't think I ever really been to concerts like that.
Have you never been to a concert?
Not really.
I'll tell you what I'm going to be doing next week. I'm going to... Pray. This thing is...
What's happening?
Oh, God. Thank God. Well, it blinked. All of the things blinked in front of me. All the monitors. And what happened to me a couple nights ago was after a second, you know how they blink and then they blink a second time?
Mm-hmm.
After the second time it blinked, everything was frozen and everything was cut off. All my connections to the internet was cut off. And it was shit. I was so happy that didn't happen to me last night. If it happens tonight, then whatever. I'm just going home early. I can't take it anymore. I don't know what's going on with this computer. Anyway, we'll talk about this later on. Let's take another call. 919, you're on the air. Who's here?
Perry.
Gary?
Perry.
Perry. What's going on, Perry?
Doing all right. I wanted to make reference to I saw on BitChute this morning that you had Rachel doing the witchcraft and feminism.
Yes.
And I was a little surprised she didn't bring up the goddess of pharmakia and witchcraft, Hecate.
I don't.
Would you mind? Pardon?
I guess I can ask her about it next time she comes. I would love to have her back once I'm able to read her book. I can ask her about that if you want to leave that in an email to me.
Actually, I sent a little thing to her email earlier today, but I was hoping I could give a few details about Hecate.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Again, pharmakia being drugs for sex, and witchcraft essentially being prostitution. Hecate was known for carrying 2 torches when she rescued Persephone from Hades. She was born of 2 titans, which means she would have a blue hue or afterglow, whatever you might want to call it. And she was tasked with protecting mankind from poisonous plants. So she was essentially a botanist.
Mm-hmm.
She was known as the guardian of crossroads, and her counterpart was Cronus. And Cronus had a corona over his head whenever he's depicted as in mythology.
Mm-hmm.
And again, as guardian of the crossroads, her practitioners put statues of her at major crossroads, like New York Harbor.
Very interesting.
And I found out that the United Daughters of Confederacy was pretty much started in 1889, whereas the Statue of Liberty was erected in 1887. And they essentially put up Civil War statues fighting fire with fire. So that we would have to look back and say, well, if these statues are being torn down, why did they put them up in the first place?
A very, very good question, and I will see where that all where that can be worked into the next time I talk with either Rachel or somebody who works in that field of their research and their published works. Thank you for the call, sir.
Most certainly. There's a few other details that are quite interesting, including where Friday the 13th originated. If Friday the 13th falls into November because in the Ides of March, they celebrate her in August and November.
Okay.
And again, if November is Friday the 13th, it's a time of great celebration and power. The last time that happened was in 2020 when Donald Trump lost the election when his attorneys capitulated the Arizona vote in a court of record.
Well, there's a lot of things that connect to a lot of things, I'll tell you that much, and I appreciate the call, and I hope to be able to compile some of those little factoids and perhaps fashion it into a really great question, a compelling question for a future guest. And I would love to have more like Rachel on, because that was only skimming the surface. Like I said, I have another guest, a friend of mine, Barbara, that I want to bring on soon too. And in fact, I think tomorrow night, if I have a little bit more energy, I want to do a little bit of a late night stream, something around, a little bit after the 10 o'clock time, to maybe just go through a little bit of the response from last night's show too, because I think it would be worthy of some calls. And it was really well received, aside from a couple of really, really salty chicks. But I mean like 1 or 2 really salty. I might even read one of the emails. I thought it was really good. I like being in that space of learning some things, just letting somebody who did a lot of research just fly and put it all together, and it was so chronological and so relevant. I really enjoyed it all. All right, let's take a break. We're going to go on an intermission. When we come back, jumping into more, and I have a really incredible doppelganger story I think Matt is going to like a lot. We'll be right back, ladies and gents.
It's intermission time, folks. Time out to press the like button. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to
Quite frankly.
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 We all support quite frankly.
Not quite.
Quite frankly.
Let's go, Brandon.
Quite frankly, in Roma, Italia. Quite frankly, you going on Frank's show tonight?
I want to get a Coke. Can I get a Coke?
So everybody watch. Quite frankly. With Frank.
Quite frankly. How dare you?
Thank you, Sean Joe. Thank you, NJSF, Jay, Jesse, Secret Weapon. Joe M says, have a great day. And yes, the world is still flat.
Told you.
Tempo, 420. Sean Joe, Witchy Poo again. Cave Toe says, happy Friday, Frank and Matt. You're killing it this week with guests. Great job. Thank you, Porpoiseful. Witchy Poo. Again, Patriot Game says, Joe needs a toupee so we can watch him chase it and fall. That'd be fun. And a whole lot of cookies from Witchy Poo. Cave Toad again. If you co-host other shows, do you get a cut of their super chats? How quick do you get money from chats? If you co-host with other shows, do you get a cut of... I don't know. I don't... Like as a guest or anything like that? I guess if the host insists. I never... If I'm asked to co-host with somebody or to be a guest, I never expect to get paid. I'm happy for the invitation and you know, I'm flattered that I'm even been invited. But like on you know, Matt knows I send Matt a little something for being here on Friday nights, especially since I know people really enjoy Matt here and they super chat at him and stuff, and the same went for Rob. You know, if I have people coming here, you know, semi-frequently and people are looking forward to it, I consider them a part of the bill that is being proposed, and it has to do with how to deal with a foreign, if like a treaty or I don't know, but I don't like the whole idea of dual citizenship. Our founders, especially George Washington, was adamant about, or many of our founders at least. I have to look a little bit into it about the you know, how across the board it was, but I know George Washington wanted the only place you should be pledging your loyalty to is this country.
Yeah.
You know,
Chris, smart.
I gotta ask Chris Ann Hall about that. She's gonna be. I have a lot of things to ask her. New things to ask her in November. I would love to have her in studio. I really would. Because she's doing a lot of traveling in the Northeast, and I asked her, you know, you think you might be able to finagle a trip? And she's really looking into it. And can you imagine that if on November 2nd, Chris Ann Hall sitting here with me? One way or another, it'll be a great night. But that would be really great if she's in studio. Matt, if she is, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
You know, because now that you know when your day of work actually ends.
Yeah.
You might actually be able to come make it here for special occasions from time.
About at 3 p.m.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like garbage man times.
No, they're out at 1.
3 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. But then again, you start at what, 6?
6:30.
That's really not bad, man. That's really good. 3 o'clock. You get. I mean, that's when summertime. That's prime sun tanning time. You get to still have a good workout.
Yeah, but I'm still doing a part-time job still.
Yeah, well, you know, that's one of the things that you can say yes or no to, though. So that's pretty cool. I don't know, man. You should be happy about what you did for yourself this past week. That's cool. All right, here we go. Cave Toad. Thank you, Witchy Poo. Tempo 420. Sea Blanche. Late fee. Godspeed. Sea Blanche. Thank you. All right. 914-200-0269. Let's take a call from Elizabeth. What's going on?
Hey, I just wanted to recommend a good therapy movie.
Oh, great. Yes.
You could use this one for either depression, or if you have an actual fear of space aliens, and you need to have some like immersive therapy to get yourself over this fear of space aliens, I recommend a 2011 cult classic called Paul. You cannot do any better than Paul. Complete belly laugh. Complete belly laugh.
You're not the first person to recommend. You're the first person to say this on air, but I've gotten emails about that movie, Paul.
Have you seen it before?
I remember the marketing for it, but I never saw it. Did you, Matt?
Yeah, I seen it.
You like it?
Simon Pegg.
Oh my God, it's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, it was a good
You've
movie.
Gotta see it, Frank.
Who voices the alien?
I don't remember.
Oh God,
I thought it was a
Do you remember?
Maybe Simon Pegg. I don't know.
No,
But he was in it. I don't
He's
know.
one of the actors, Simon Pegg.
No, I remember it was like a recognizable. Because I remember some of the marketing for it, but I did not see the movie.
Oh, you've got it's a cult classic. You absolutely, Frank. I mean, this is, and your daughter can watch this one. Absolutely, it's great. You'll love it.
Paul, Simon Pegg, Paul. The alien is Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen. Oh, okay.
Seth Rogen, Jason Bateman's in it. Sigourney Weaver, Kristen Wiig.
Got a great cast.
Bill Hader.
Remarkable.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in it. I never seen it.
Yeah,
maybe I will.
Still, when comedies
can't
were
believe
funny.
That, Frank, that's amazing. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for that, Elizabeth. I'm glad that some people are calling in with their film therapy prescriptions still.
Yes. Well, thank you, and we love you, and we just enjoy everything that you do, Frank. You are the best.
Well, I'm really happy to hear that, and I hope that you enjoy all the things I'm cooking up now, because I want to keep things fresh. I want to build new foundations for bigger projects, but we'll always keep this the same. Love this. I love writing for this in particular. That's just like, quite frankly, I want to do fresh things all over the place. Like Matt and I were talking about the skits again, video skits, putting a lot of these stupid ideas to use. But quite frankly, me personally, I look at it as a fire in a fireplace in a really nice, in a great room somewhere. You're sitting around with all your friends. There's beanbag chairs and really comfortable leather couches all over the place. And it's really just this very, very beautiful fire that's not raging too hot and it's not dying. But every once in a while, somebody goes over there and throws another log and it just keeps it steady. That's what I see the show as. So I don't want to get too crazy. I would rather do crazy things on the side and keep tinkering with the network ideas and the new shows we want to create for that. So I'm glad that you guys found me when we all found each other, I should say. I'm glad we found each other. It's going to be good. All right, let's take a call from Mr. O'Connor. Brian, how are you?
Hey, how you doing, Frank?
Oh,
hey, Matt, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, man?
This is the first time we're talking on the phone.
Yep.
Everybody in the chat room, many of you remember Brian's son, Brian O'Connor Jr., Gadget Doc. And you know what, Brian? You sound just like your son.
Probably.
Oh, it's great. It's great to hear your voice on a number of reasons. For a number of ways, I gotta say. So, what's on your mind tonight?
Oh, your guest yesterday was great. Terrific. Oh, it was just one heck of a guest, and even got my wife to watch.
Really? What did she think about it? Is this something that was, because I didn't know. I knew when I wanted to talk about this at some point, but I couldn't just bring on my guy friends, and so it would sound like woman bashing or something. So when I found Rachel, it's such a consummate researcher on the subject, I just let her loose because I wanted to learn something too, and I really wanted it to be unbiased.
Yeah, well, it really was. And, like the last couple weeks, your shows have been, spot on. You've been doing great interviews. But my wife thought she was great, too. We learned a lot. We really liked the witch broom part. That was great.
I didn't know that.
Matt, I think, will like that, too.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Did you know what the symbolism of the witch broom was all about?
No.
We'll talk about that. Man, those are the shows, Brian, where I just love kicking back, tossing a question there, being conversational a little bit, but just really like being part of the audience. It was great.
Yeah, it really was. And you got to have her back as soon as you can. She was terrific. And I also like Chris Ann Hall. I think Chris Ann knocks the ball out of the park every time.
Well, then hopefully if she's in studio, then we'll definitely be able to take calls from a whole bunch of people, because that's the one thing. I'm glad we got to do that the other night. I think in a pinch from now on, what I'll do is, until we're able to figure out our calling schematic over here, I think that in a pinch, it was really great to have some people calling in and just being able to pose a question, hang up and listen to the answer. I still want to hear some, because if somebody really opposed what Rachel was saying, and I got a couple of those in email, I would love to hear them talk to each other, and I can't be the monkey in the middle for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, but it worked out. I think it worked out really well. But I still want to hear that salty email you were talking about before.
I'll go live with that tomorrow night. I'll just, even if I'm on live for like 25 minutes, I'll make sure I go live and I'll read that, and just some wrap up thoughts from last night, because it was so jam packed. I didn't have a lot of time with the audience afterwards, because I really wanted to get that Nikola Tesla thing in before I signed off. And but I'll make some time tomorrow night. We'll do that.
Okay, well, thanks a lot, Frank. And Matt, I know you're not a cat person, but I know you're really gay.
Hey, Brian is he spent a lot of time on nuclear submarines. He was a submariner.
Okay.
Yeah, we went down 100 men and came up 50 couples.
Oh, see? There you go. There you go. 100 men, 50 couples.
All right.
See, that's why, the one thing I don't care about when we start getting crude with the humor is I know all the military guys are.
Yeah.
They're not getting their panties in a bunch.
No.
Because this is how they survive.
We all served with George Washington, Matt.
Gay stuff is funny.
Oh yeah, George Washington. He loved when guys.
He always joked about gay stuff.
That's it. You read his letters to Martha. Okay, thank you so much, Brian. It's great to hear from you.
Talk to you later, Frank.
Bye-bye. Read his letters to Martha. Thine men are real gay today.
Well, back then, gay men happy, right?
Yeah.
So he probably would have said,
I want my men to be
very gay,
but focused and full of etiquette. You know what he would have said? Hold on. Here's what he would have said. Number 80 of George's rules and civility and decent behavior. Be not tedious in discourse or in reading unless you find the company pleased therewith. Meaning, keep the reading light and airy. Don't just, break out war and peace and bog them down.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like, I know some nights we read longer stories together just because sometimes I want to have story time for an episode. But other than that, I try to find highlights and excerpts like last night. Those would have been horrendous reads if I didn't have those excerpts with Nikola Tesla. Be not curious to know the affairs of others, neither approach those that speak in private.
Yes, mind your own fucking business.
And don't go whispering.
And keep your fucking mouth shutteth.
Number 82. Do not, undertake not what you cannot perform, but be careful to keep your promise.
Don't put too much on your fucking plate, kid.
He's saying under promise, over deliver. Don't over promise and under deliver. That's what he's saying. Number 83, when you deliver a matter, do it with passion and with discretion. However mean the person be you do it to.
Yep. He's right.
That's it. I swear. When you deliver a matter, to do it. Okay? When you deliver a matter, to do it with passion and with discretion, however mean the person be you do to it.
I know exactly what it means to a T. I just can't explain it.
It's common, it's just like, it's one of those things where he speaks.
Common sense.
He speaks and you just, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Okay.
Number 84. When your superiors talk to anybody, hearken not, neither speak nor laugh. So just shut up. Shut up. Be at attention and let these more higher ups do their thing. 85. In company of those of higher. I'm looking for the gay stuff.
It's subliminal.
So in company of those higher quality than yourself, that has to mean gays.
Yeah, like bigger gays that are more notoriously gay.
When he's talking about quality, he's talking about measuring person on the gay scale.
Yeah, it's like a Richter scale.
Right.
Yeah.
Speak not until you are asked a question. Then stand upright, put of your hat, and answer in few words.
Make it short and sweet.
That's it. And one last one. In disputes, be not so desirous to overcome as not to give liberty to each other, or each one, to deliver as his opinions and submit to the judgment of the major part. You know what he just said right there?
Yeah, I just can't explain it.
Okay, wait. In disputes, be not so desirous to overcome as not to give liberty to each one to deliver his opinion and submit to the judgment of the major part, especially if they are judges of the dispute.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it, but I'm not even going to attempt to explain it.
Yeah, because you know what? If you don't get it, then that's on you.
Yeah, if you don't know his rules, your life's going to suck.
Don't come running to us if you defy him.
It's because you don't speak Old English.
All right, so I have one here from Stowstube. Disregard the other super chat. Whoops, finally get to catch a live listen this week. Schedule finally aligned, and bam, Friday night session in full effect. Thank you, gents. Just catching up on some super chat contributions to excellent independent media. Thank you so much, Stowstube. All right, well, here we have a little bit of a scary story. You want to hear this, Matt? Oh, wait, there's two other things here. Happy birthday. A happy birthday to Asher. He's 35. This is from his sister, Regina, longtime viewers, 35 years old. I loved 35. You know, the other thing about 35 was, the sad thing about 35 is that you are at the end of the Sinatra scale.
What?
When he's talking about when I was 17, when I was 21, and then of course it's when I was 35, and then he's talking about now I'm in the autumn of the year, and then after the that's it. The days are short after 35. I'm like, what the hell does that mean? So on the Sinatra scale, it's just 35, and then you might as well just be your retirement home.
Yeah, you're old now, dude.
So happy birthday to Asher, 35. It's your last year of quantifiable life, and then you're in the mix of just random shades of oldness.
Yeah, it's gonna really start to suck, bro. Really fucking bad. But hey, happy birthday, bro.
Happy birthday. That's like Anthony's New Year's.
Yeah,
where the hell's Anthony's New Year's? Did I have it in here? I don't know where the hell it is. Hey, Frank, part of your show, you talked about Nancy Pelosi wearing a mask, and you touched on it a bit tonight. That was last night. I was told by a plastic surgeon that as we all age, our eye sockets will recede into our skulls, thus creating that hollow look around the eyes.
That's not true.
Now, some people, for some people it's very extreme, and others it isn't. My mom just turned 90, but her eye sockets are nowhere near as deep as Nancy's. I have to say, when you showed that image, I was shocked. I see how deep hers are set back. The doctor said that the bone around our eyes that holds them in place will actually move. It'll move backwards into our skulls, just enough to create that hollow. Sucks to get old, LOL, says Brad. So, you hear that, Asher? Happy birthday, but, just remember what's coming.
I don't know, maybe.
By 36, your eyes start sinking back. That's from Brad.
Sunken-eyed, drooly-mouthed liberal.
Well, did you see Nancy's sunken eyes? Look at these. This is going to scare the shit out of you.
Oh, gee. Oh.
Let's just see. Hold on. I want to scare the audience again, too. Look at that, Matt. Look. What's going on in there?
She's an alien.
I could see why some people think
Look at those beady white devil eyes.
So, yeah, that came in here, too. All right. Let's take another call. 206, you're on the air. It's a Friday night. How you doing?
Hi, Frank. My name's Marianne. I have a doppelganger story.
Oh, let's hear about it. Then I'll read this one. Go ahead.
Okay. I was in high school with a group of my friends and my sister, and we were sitting on the beach and looking out at the ocean and everything and talking. And then my sister looked up and she said, "Hey, Mare, look who's coming down the beach." And I saw my brother jogging up the beach. So I jetted down and I started running alongside him, and I got really close, and we're running along, and then I jabbed him in the ribs with my elbow a little bit, and I kept jabbing him, and he wasn't doing anything. So the next thing I know is I started karate chopping him a little bit, and I was karate chopping him in the ribs and in the waist and everything, and he didn't look at me or anything. And I'm like, oh, dude, you're going to say something because you're going to start laughing. So I reached over and I started tickling him. Like, he kept running faster and faster, and I kept going faster. And I started tickling him in the ribs, and finally he looked at me, and his eyes were sticking out like a pug. And I went, oh, my God, it's not my brother.
No wonder
I
he's trying.
jetted back up the beach, and everybody was laughing, screaming, laughing, rolling all over their beach towels. And I was dying, and I went and hid under my towel, and they were crying. They were laughing so hard.
But wait a second.
So,
Marianne, you have...
Yes.
What you described right there sound like you're running alongside of this guy for a while.
Oh, yeah. Well, he was down the beach. I recognized him, so I jetted down the beach. And I ran track, and this guy was pretty good, but I was at my peak, and I was in my bikini and everything. But I didn't care. I was sprinting down the beach right next to him, just giving him jabs and karate chops, because I have a bunch of brothers, and we do stuff like that. But it was when I reached over and started grabbing his waist and was tickling him while we were running that he just looked over. Oh, God, lady, who are you? Or girl, or whatever.
I know.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? I'm trying to put myself into his shoes. I'm putting myself into his shoes, running on the beach, and just having this bikini girl run alongside of me, and I don't know, maybe thinking at first, okay, this is kind of cool. What's going on here? But then to start feeling the poking and the tickling as you're running full speed, you can't get away from her. What the hell?
But wait, so painful after.
But wait, one more second.
I'm blushing right now just remembering it.
But wait, Marianne, one more question. It's one thing to see somebody that is just the spitting image of someone else, and it is just. I mean, so we are talking height, hair color, and even gait.
Everything.
Like even the way the way he ran, like his gait as well.
Yeah, he was very, very muscular, and he had the same proportions. His face, his profile was identical, and his hair was identical. And my brothers were all athletic, and we all used to run on the beach. And so I thought, oh, perfect. I'll just go give him a little fun. He'll be so surprised to see me, and then he'll come over and hang out with us for a bit. And oh, God, no.
No, not at all. Well, I can't.
Not today.
I can't thank you enough for this call. At least that is a lighthearted one. This next one might be a little bit weird, but thank you, Marianne.
Okay, thank you, Frank. I really love your show.
Thank you. It was really great meeting you tonight.
Thanks.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, let's listen to this. We're going to take a really quick break first, okay? We're going to come back with a doppelganger story, and then there we go. Ready? Here we go.
They call him Samurai. He speaks fluent Japanese.
Are you Fujiyama?
What does katana mean?
It means Japanese sword.
Welcome to your Perpetual Health Minute, brought to you by Quite Frankly. Statin drugs. What are statin drugs? Well, they're a $1 trillion industry for one thing. The other thing they are is a class of drug designed to lower cholesterol in the hopes that this will, in the future, prevent heart disease. It's a relatively controversial theory. So a new paper published in Frontiers in Endocrinology, September of 2023, shows us that statin users are also at an increased likelihood of developing type 2 diabetes. But you may not know that type 2 diabetes itself is also a risk factor for developing heart disease. So now you may be wondering, why would I take a class of drug that increases my risk of developing type 2 diabetes, which in turn increases my risk of developing heart disease, which was the very disease I was trying to prevent in the first place by taking the statin drug? And to that, I would say, what a great question. You may be also wondering, what other drugs do I take that have unintended consequences? And to that, I would say, welcome to the great unlearn. If you like this video, please follow the new Perpetual Health Rumble page. You can also find us at perpetualhealth.substack.com, where we go much deeper into all these topics in written form, in audio form. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and on with the show.
QFTV has got music, movies, video roundup, throwback, vintage, frankly, episodes, and so much more. So hang out, chill, nightly, at quitefrankly.tv.
If Bill Gates gets a 44 Magnum on air, shoves it in his mouth, and blows his brains out the back of his head, the next day, after it's confirmed he's dead, I will blow my brains out on air.
Are you okay?
You all right? You good?
Oh, no, you're not. You okay? Oh, gosh. Are you okay?
I'm so happy that Jay finally did what I asked him. I said, come on, man, let's do it. Give me health minutes, little health minutes or whatever, like they do on radio and stuff. Let's do it over here. And that was great. And I said, yeah, it doesn't have to be a minute. That was exactly a minute long. I said, as long as it's a little bit under 2 minutes, that's a great brief. Then we can use that during the 7 o'clock show. And anything longer, we can always put into the after hours and stuff like that. But, oh, that was so great. So good job. And you can check out Perpetual Health on Rumble there. It was right on the screen. All right. Okay, before we get into this doppelganger story, I've got to read this. This was really funny the other night when, of course, we had the big technical difficulty and the show crapped out, and then I only came back really on YouTube in any significant way. Listen to this. As I watched last night's show, something brought me back to a distant past. Frank's show began buffering. It brought me back to when we were just 275 subscribers on Quite Frankly's YouTube channel. Suddenly, last night was nostalgic to me. I watched all the chat room freak out over a sudden pause. Oh, shall I tell you about the days? One time, I was just resting my eyes, laying back in my lazy chair as my wife walked by to go to bed. Around 15 minutes later, she came back again and grabbed the mouse to close my computer, to which I jumped up to say, no, don't. She asked, what are you doing? I said, I'm waiting for Frank. Why? And she asked, well, first of all, I said, Frank was on a roll. She said, wait, why are you waiting for Frank? Frank was on a roll, and I'm sure it will take him at least 10 minutes before he realizes that he's not been broadcasting. Then 3 minutes or so while he smashes half of the shit on his desk. Then another 5 minutes to put it all back together again. Then he'll take a deep breath, restart the stream. It will only be me, Nikki here, that are watching right now. We can't let him go it alone. He would be so disappointed if nobody was here when he comes back. Just as I said that, the stream started back up again. That's why I will forever keep this in mind. We are sharing a world with a man who keeps on keeping on, no matter the odds. That's the inspiration we all need. That's why I have never missed a show ever since. Thanks, Frank. You're the best. Mr. D. I really appreciated that.
Nice.
And it's true. I know a lot of people really, really revel in when something goes technically wrong on the show. And I guess it could be funny. You know, when one of this thing freezes up and I'm just stuck on the screen with a goofy face, and then all of a sudden I have to go and take mats and we have a funky thing happen. Microphones crackling, whatever the hell else is going on. As long as we don't lose the stream altogether. That sucked. The dropouts. Everybody remember the dropouts? The dropouts had to be pre-2019 because I was still using VidBlaster, this clunky ass video encoder that we really used a lot. We used a lot from about 2000. When did we start using VidBlaster? Oh, it was a while, man. We did that for years. We refused to get on anything else because it was just so easy to use. But it was such a clunky thing that it was dragging down everything, and it was impossible for the computer really to handle the broadband right. So when we finally went over to OBS, and boom, never a dropout again. Last night, I mean, things like this just happen, but not like, if you guys and gals remember that. And 275 subscribers. I remember I was standing online at a local deli. I was getting myself a breakfast sandwich and coffee, and it was just and I was feeling inspired because the show was really, we were picking up. All of a sudden, we were starting to see subscribers coming in on YouTube because we hadn't been there until, really doing anything there until late 2015 or early 2016. So sometime around 2016, late 2016 in the fall, we had just hit. It was 1776 subscribers. I was standing online at the deli by the park, and I reloaded the page and I saw 1776. I said, "Wow, 1,776 subscribers on YouTube." And those are the little things that really matter, because you only get to see 1776 once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, the mic stands. Everybody's talking about the dancing mic stands that keep falling down on me. That sucked. My back was in really bad shape during those years because I would just follow the mic down, then I'd bring it up. I had to hold it up with me. Then if I just didn't want to hold the mic, I would slunk back this thing. So I was always slouching too. At least I corrected that. Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. D, for that. You ready for this story now, Matt?
Indeed.
Okay, here we go. Where the hell is the... Boom. Okay, Matt, we're going to go on split screen together. Here it is. Hello, Frank. I know it's been a week since our conversation with Tim. Oh, wait, that's the Tim Gordon thing. I want to talk about that a little bit later. I was going to say that for Tim. Hey, Frank. I think you know what a doppelganger is. I believe I may have heard it mentioned a couple times on your show in the past. For anyone who doesn't know, a doppelganger is a look-alike, typically a spirit, a ghost, what have you. Well, I have a doozy of a doppelganger haunting you. Yes, doppelganger is a look-alike. It's usually an opposite force. It's usually an evil version of yourself. Now, if you are an evil person, then perhaps you would have a nice ghost. But still, it's usually an evil twin or something like that. So I have a doozy of a doppelganger haunting you. This all happened in southeastern Kentucky during my late summer of 2007 till I left in March 2008. My friend and his wife had recently had a baby, and they needed help paying on the mortgage, so they offered to rent me their finished basement and apartment. A couple had recently moved out. A couple of people, of course. A couple of people had just recently moved out, so it was vacant, when way cheaper than anything I can find, and conveniently located close to where I worked. It was a nice house, rather large. It sat on 2-acre lot and nestled up against a small patch of woods that led to the Daniel Boone National Forest, and less than a mile from Lake Cumberland. I would have been an idiot to pass up that offer, or so I thought. It started out as hearing whistling and or a harmonica playing coming from the carport through the kitchen window. Now, day or night, that's all they kept hearing, whistling or harmonicas. Then it progressed to a baby crying coming from the woods behind the house. Naturally, we would go investigate, and we would never find anything. That happened sporadically, and we really didn't have too much thought about it. And that's like Blair Witch kind of shit. Mm-hmm. One night, I got off work a little early and grabbed a couple pizzas on my way home. As I walked up the driveway, I noticed his wife on the front porch swing, rocking the baby. As I was walking up and talking to her, I looked over to the front door, which was open, and I see my friend walk by. We made eye contact, and he gave me his shit-eating grin like always and kept walking toward the kitchen. He usually didn't get off work until about 1 or 2 a.m., so I was a bit surprised to see him. I asked his wife what he was doing home already. She looked at me and as if I'd gone mental, and said he's still at work. And I froze. I can just imagine the terrified look on my face. Frank, we made eye contact. That's how real this was, this encounter with this shit-eating grin friend. It was him. He was physically there. So I turned to her and I explained what I had just witnessed. She stopped swinging and told me she had a few experiences herself, but nothing scary. Never actually saw anything, but I had heard footsteps a couple of times, and that was basically it. Nothing like I had just witnessed. So she had heard footsteps. That's weird. To say things progressed from there would be an understatement. One night, my buddy and I were playing Xbox, just the two of us home. He was sitting in a recliner facing the TV with the front door to his left. I'm sitting on the couch, perpendicular to the recliner and right next to the door. Both the screen door and the main door were shut. Out of nowhere, the main door swung open with so much force it nearly knocked the controller out of my hands. We both jumped up and ran outside to see what the hell just happened and who the hell just kicked the door open, but there was nothing. We searched everywhere around the house, in the woods, behind the house, nothing. We were 100% sure someone was fucking with us. As we walked around to the front of the house, we looked across the street. The neighbors were outside with their flashlights looking around. We walked over to ask if they saw anything, only to learn the same exact thing happened to them. Seemingly at the same exact time it happened to us. I'll wrap this up with my experience of the last night that I stayed in the house, all alone, I might add. My bedroom was at the end of a long hallway. I kept my door closed. Even though they never came downstairs, I still felt the need to keep it closed. An added sense of privacy, maybe. I was laid back watching something I heard, and then I heard footsteps in the kitchen, in my kitchen. My friends were out of town, so there shouldn't be anyone there except me. Nobody there. I walked upstairs and checked the main house. Nothing there either. I got that sick, scared, shitless something bad. I got sick, scared, and shitless. Wait, sick? I got that sick. Scared, shitless, something bad is about to happen, ominous feeling. There you go. I literally ran downstairs and back to my bedroom. As soon as I sat down at the end of the bed, there was a pounding on the wall on the other side of the room, like someone was on the other side beating their fist on the wall. The only problem was there wasn't anything on the other side of that wall, just earth and foundation. I lived in the basement. That is a one-bath, one-bedroom basement apartment. I'd like to say I was tough and stood up to whatever was there. Truth was, I felt like a little kid afraid of a monster in the closet or under the bed all over again. That entire night, I endured pounding on the walls and footsteps running toward my door and stopping just outside of it. Fuck that. I was officially leaving the next day, so all I had wasn't packed up. That what wasn't packed up was my gun, my Bible, and a change of clothes. It should go without saying I didn't sleep a wink that night. No, instead I sat on the bed with a Louisville Slugger on one side, a Sig 226 on the other. At least he's got that. And the Bible in my lap.
Against the ghost.
I know neither the bat or the gun would have been much use against whatever was in that house. But when I opened that Bible, the footsteps running toward my bedroom door stopped immediately. About a week or so after I moved out, the same friend called me and asked me, "Did you forget something?" Listen to this. A week after he moves out, his friend calls him and says, "Did you forget something? And why did you run like that?" I was bumfuzzled. I told him I had no idea what he was talking about. Then he proceeded to tell me how he and his wife were packing groceries in, and as they walked up to the door, they saw me run from the kitchen to the den and out the back door. I live about 4 hours away, so no, I was not there. Fast forward a few months and he texted me. He said, "Call me ASAP." I call him, and he tells me that the couple that lived in the basement apartment and had moved out right before I had moved in were getting into witchcraft, and they were practicing casting spells and doing rituals. My friend said that he had to have the house exorcised and blessed. The activity subsided, but it didn't go away altogether. He and his family have since moved to another state, but I still wonder if whoever lives there now has any experiences. I hope this gave you the willies. Signed, T. Stone.
Poltergeist activity.
That's poltergeist. But, I mean, it's also something that obviously was summoned to the house.
Well, yeah. They opened a portal. It was Bob. Bob was let in.
Man, oh man. Well, listen, that's a little bit... There's a doppelganger aspect to that. And those aspects are terrifying. I mean, everything else is just like almost like classic poltergeist stuff. But the doppelganger aspect is nuts, where the friends are seeing each other appear to themselves in different times, running through the house and out the back door. I mean, just to see anybody run through the house knowing that nobody should be there. My gosh. If I had a gun like he did. Now, the problem for me was I would be terrified as well. I wouldn't want to even open up the door. You know, if I was convinced that it was like, I don't know, if I had a gun, I would feel a little bit better about finding a way to get out of the house and just driving. I would say, I'm going to wire you some money, and I will pay for whatever kind of house maid service or whatever the hell is. Somebody can come there and pack my stuff up, send it to me. I'm getting out of here. I would have never. I couldn't. How the hell you get out of there? Then again, if you're in the basement, you obviously don't have a window. I would go out the window. I'd grab my car. I would just leave. I would have so much adrenaline running through me that I would be able to drive all night, no doubt about it. And I would just want to get hours away from that place. What would you do in that situation, ladies and gents? You can call in right now, 914-200-0269. And, you can tell us your story. You can tell us what the hell you would do there. Have you been in a situation where that you just felt the strength go from your bones? Because I'll tell you, I probably would not do. I wouldn't be like peeing and blubbering, but I would not be doing any Indiana Jones shit outside that door. I'd be sitting there until the sun came up.
I've had poltergeist activity happen when I was in school at my house. So.
Wait. When you were in school?
Yeah, like when I was in high school.
Oh,
when
okay.
I was home, when I was young.
Did it stop after a while?
Yeah. Well, it didn't. It would just... A similar thing happened to me and my brother, just like years apart. Like, we're just all alone at the house and up in the bedroom. The door was open, and it just... he said it, and then it happened to me years later. It sounded like someone just came to the door and started going... Because I saw the door shaking. Someone was going like... Boom, 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 hitting the door like that. Like with their fists, like hitting it back and forth. You know, it was open. Yeah, I fucking ran downstairs. I slept downstairs for like 2-3 weeks.
So, but that's the whole thing. Was sleep down where, like in the living room?
Yeah, and even that, like, that was haunted too.
Well, I'm just saying, it's
by a lady in a red dress.
It's the same house. I remember you talking about the lady in the red dress, but to go from there to the living room, it's the same house, and a living room is so much more open, and you are not closed off to.
There's a dog. I had a dog.
Oh, okay.
The dog was down there with me.
Dogs are usually useless against ghosts.
It was a big husky, like wolf dog.
That's good. That wolf energy is
the wolf, yeah.
Yeah, they keep it away. They exist in two planes. Jay Sembo says, Matt and Frank, the best. Have a great weekend. Here we are now. Entertain us, says Selling the Farm. Cave Toad with a very, very generous and kind gift to the show on Rumble Rant said, money's for you and Matt. How long before you can collect these? Was I asking? It was once a week, once a month, etc. Pill cash too. Well, I was. I'm really happy and thankful for what you've given us tonight, Cave Toad, and everybody else out there as well. Let me see here. Lady Princey says, today I swear Matt was working at my mechanic's garage. He hooked me up with a sweet deal and said, don't tell anyone. I almost asked him to say, hello, Francis. Really?
Where?
I don't know. Lady Princey, where is this? Where is this mechanic's shop? That she saw your doppelganger there. And he's got a job in a technical profession. This was before my technical training. Who said that? Andy Bernard at the Mafia meeting. Let's see here. Captain Flint, thank you. And Robert Sarnes, thank you so much. Seabland says Friday. Yes, Friday feels good. All right. Let me know what you think about that one, ladies and gents. The line is open, 914-200-0269. And yeah, we're going to be getting off in a couple of minutes. I think this is a nice place to stop. Let's see here. All right, here. And I had one more thing we can do in a little bit, but I think I'm going to save that for next week. That's all. All right, Matt. Well, listen. Maybe you can give us a little bit more of an update on your professional life next week, and I don't know if we're going to be carving a pumpkin together. Maybe we can carve a pumpkin together next Friday.
Well, no, I think I can do the show on next Saturday.
Well, we'll see.
Was
we'll
it
see.
next Saturday or Saturday after that?
Maybe it would
Saturday
be
after that.
No,
right?
it'd be next Saturday. It would be the
is it?
Saturday before Halloween. So that would be the 28th. I mean, if you're here, if Anthony's here, we'll see. I don't know. If the guys are around and we got a pumpkin to carve, I think that'd be nice to go live and do that. But anyway, it's all good. So if that's all with everybody, I think it is. Oh wait, we're getting pinwheeling over here in the phone systems. Maybe that's why nobody's getting through. Very odd. Let me just reload this. And of course, that was the problem. And here comes another. What's going on, sir? You're on the air.
Oh, hello.
Oh, miss. I'm so sorry. Or ma'am.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Hi, Frank. This is A from PA. How are you guys doing?
We're doing well. It's great to have you on with us tonight. So what's through your mind? Did you have a doppelganger story?
I don't have a doppelganger story. However, I do have like a creepy ghost story that I'll tell you in 3 seconds.
Okay.
So it was New Year's Eve. I was very young and full of like, powerful feminine rage. And I thought I was the shit. We went to our friend's house for a party. In the upstairs bedroom, the old woman who owned the house prior to them living there passed away in the bed in that bedroom. Everybody was warning me, don't sleep in there. It's really scary. You don't have any idea what you're doing. I was full of, alcohol, and it was New Year's Eve and very excited. And I was like, you know what? Screw this. I'm going to sleep in there. Frank, I shit you not, that old bitch shook the shit out of me awake, and it was like somebody was screaming in my ears.
Shit, you had a physical encounter, but also an audible encounter, like an auditory encounter?
Yeah, I didn't see anything. I was asleep, but it literally felt like somebody was shaking my shoulders, and the sound coming in my ears was the equivalent of like having headphones on and somebody just screaming at the top of their lungs in your ears. I ran out of that room as fast as I could. I was white as a ghost the entire weekend. Everybody said, like, I told you so, you didn't listen. And I swear to you, I've never been the same since, and I do not doubt a bit the potential of these spirits that we do not know walk among us, but they do.
Wow. Okay, so when you said I've never been the same since, how did your life change since then? It sounded like, what were you in your teens, 20s? What was it?
Yeah, I was about 19.
So how did everything change from you? That you had that scared straight moment that everybody used to have to go and get on Montel Williams. But so you got scared straight, and then what happened from age 20 on? What changed?
I started believing in the fact that we're A, not alone, and B, not only are we not alone, but the spirits that we think surround us are not always, the spirits of our dead relatives that love us. So I go kind of through life, being very grateful and being very prayer and spiritually oriented, and just I never hesitate to say my prayers and be thankful and be grateful and hope that my daddy is with me and that something like that never happens again. But if you get the opportunity to challenge something like that, don't.
Oh, I'm not. No, you don't have to worry about me. Did you not hear me talk? Well, let me ask you again, just to clarify. The woman who died, you were in this house for what reason? Obviously celebrating.
It was New Year's. It was just a New Year's Eve party.
Whose house?
Nobody else would sleep in there.
Whose house was
it? This big queen bed, and I was like, I'll sleep in there.
Whose house was it?
It was my friend Johnny's house, and actually my boyfriend at the time was like, don't do it. This is crazy. I know you're a ballsy Queens girl, but don't do it. And I did it anyway. And
so
I was just messed up the whole weekend.
It was and it wasn't your buddy Johnny's grandmother. It was the previous owner.
It was
Okay.
It was the previous owner. Yeah.
Well, who the hell slept in that bed when it wasn't just New Year's Eve weekend?
Nobody. That's the thing.
It's the empty room.
A guest bedroom, and nobody ever slept in there.
Oh, I would, I don't know, brick that wall up and just say, oh yeah, nothing in there. It's just cordwood.
Right.
Well, thank you for the call. That was a good one.
Thanks.
No,
I love you guys. Anyway, prayers up. Have a good night. And you guys are wonderful.
Well, I'm glad you got through. That was great. I'm glad that I restarted the phone system because now we're getting inundated, and I thought we were dead in the water for a second there. Hold on a second. Let's go to 952. You're on the air with Matt and Frank.
Hello, hey Frank, it's Cave Toad.
Hey, what's going on, Cave Toad? Great to have you on.
Well, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for taking my call.
Well, I mean, if I knew which number was yours, I'd take your call more often, man. Thank you for all the support. So go ahead. What's on your mind?
Well, as long as we're telling creepy stories, so one that always sticks out to me, and I've had a few, but was on Homecoming. No, not Homecoming. Whatever they call the final dance prize.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I'm having a brain fart right now.
It doesn't matter.
But anyway, so my friend was dating a gal, and we did the old I'm staying at his house, they're staying at other people's houses. But this gal, her stepfather was in prison, and her mom was in jail. So we basically had his date's mom's house to our own. Now, we had heard, and her brother was like in a mental institution, crazy stuff, regardless. So we, went and stayed there after, the dance, and, supposedly the house was haunted. And we had heard that and stuff, but we had gone there, smoked weed, whatever, plenty of time.
Okay.
And, so after the dance, went there, having some drinks or whatever, having a good time. And so the bedroom for her was, so picture like a ranch house, and then, kind of like attic rooms. Okay. So you've got the pitch roof upstairs and a little narrow stairway going up there.
I've got the general gist of what the, like a farmhouse kind of a thing. I got something in my head. So let's just get to the haunting.
Okay. So anyway, as so they're asleep in the next room. We're in the room that's right where the stairway is. Just a little, curtain separating the rooms or whatever. But we're in the area where the stairs are coming up. So we heard, as me and my girlfriend, just having an interesting night. All of a sudden you hear somebody coming up the stairs, and it's those old stairs. You hear step, creak, step, creak, step, creak, all the way up the steps. So me and her all of a sudden interrupted, and we're like, oh, and we just listened as these step, creak, all the way up, and then nothing.
Uh-huh. And that happened. So, that happened all night.
Well, we were freaked out for a while. We thought things would be fine again. Then you hear a bang or a knock, and then somebody coming up the steps again. But there was nobody else. Doors were locked. The other people were in the other room. They heard it too. But then, the next morning, the gal Daphne, she's like, oh, that's just their ghost. They come up and down the stairs and stuff like that. It's not a big deal.
Well, then
it would have been nice to give us a heads up, but it sure made,
listen,
the graduation dance night a little awkward.
Yeah, I know. Having the ghost there while you're trying to get your rocks off is not very nice. But you know what? And thank you for the call, Cave Toad. I gotta say,
hey, you're welcome.
It could have gone in far worse directions there. If you're going to get haunted, and all it is, I honestly I can't even take steps up the stair, footprints up the stairs either, or footsteps up the stairs. I don't want any of that. That is horrifying. That's horrifying too, especially if you have no place to go, to get out. If you don't have like a fire escape or anything, like you are just like waiting there. It's like a dead end, like a cul-de-sac, and you're waiting for, if you're on a top floor or something. Gosh, that sucks. So Cave Toad got all messy with a ghost. Let's go take a call from 603. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hello, go ahead.
Hi, Frank.
Hey.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. What's on your mind tonight?
Well, I just wanted to share a dream experience
Okay.
that, in the dream, I was lucid dreaming, and I was calling out people in my dream saying, are you artificial intelligence, or are you advanced artificial intelligence? And then they'd be like, my name is Rob. My name is Steve. My name is Betty. And I'm like, you're all fake. You're all fake. You're all fake. In my dream. I wonder if this is in reality.
It could be. It could be. Nobody. You never know. Everybody around you might be a robot, or it could be something else, a tulpa, a doppelganger. But very interesting dream. Make sure you put that in the dream repository there. Ladies and gentlemen, have you had any dreams like that lately? Take a call, 914-200-0269, and calling people out. I don't want to do that. That's a scary thing. That's a scary thought. All right, here we go. Let's take another one. 559, go ahead.
Oh, my God. Hello? Is this Quite Frankly?
Yes, who's this?
Oh, my God. My name's Darcy. I'm in California. I just got home, and I'm actually, you're live, and I'm actually at the part where you're talking about the guy who was doing it with the stuffed animal.
You're just watching the beginning right now?
I had to start over. That was hilarious.
Okay.
I love your show. I'm going to send this link to my boyfriend because my roommate has a dog. You know that movie Click?
Yes.
How that dog always did the duck?
You're talking about the Adam Sandler film, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We have this little chihuahua, and we went and bought him a duck. So I was wondering, was it a duck?
Oh, no, they said there's no information that could be released on what kind of animal.
I bet it was a duck. I just want to tell you guys you're great. You guys have a good night.
Okay, there you go. Well, thank you so much. You're great, too. There's an interesting call. She wants to contest that it was a rabbit, like you had said. Well, they had actually let it on with that image.
That's the picture they left. It could have just as easily been a platypus doll.
Well, she believes it was a duck. It only makes sense.
Could have been a Mickey Mouse doll.
One last call. 608, you're on the air. What's going on, 608?
Hey, Frank. Just wanted to end the night on a kind of a light note.
Go ahead.
I wanted to tell you that I thought that your shirt last night was really nice.
Thanks.
Tonight you're wearing totally blank, and a totally black shirt, and you look good in that too. And I wanted to find out too. I did not know until you mentioned that they said they were sending you. What size do you wear? Because I have two shirts I'd like to send to you, but I think they might be extra large. Is that going to be a problem?
Yeah, I think it would. It just wouldn't fit right. I mean, unless I'm just where I have plenty of shirts that I wear to bed that are just knock around shirts. But so I guess that could be it. But I don't know.
Well, maybe I'll wash them in hot water.
Oh yeah, maybe. Well, hey, listen. If the materials came from Kohl's, then yeah, it'll still shrink 3 sizes. So.
Good point. And then I also wanted to ask Matt too. I feel stupid, but I don't know exactly what his new job is. So I wanted to ask him exactly what his new job is and what the difference is between this and his last job.
Okay, go ahead, Matt.
I work for the DPW. And I have benefits now.
Yeah, he got
a pension.
He got the town job now, and he's got benefits and like you said, a pension and set hours and that's it.
Vacation time, paid time off.
See,
paid sick days.
I mean, that's where
there you go.
I'm telling you, man. He was worried about the pay cut. I said, you have no clue. All the money that you're losing from the cash job to this is going to things that are so expensive. It's like a $1 million buyout. So.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Good job. Well, congratulations, Matt. I'm very happy for you, and I'll let you go, Frank. But I'm probably going to send those shirts, and maybe I'll see it on you or not.
We'll see. You'll see. It's either that or I turn it into a pillow and put it on the couch or something. I don't know. But thanks for the call.
Okay. You guys have a great night.
Take care.
No.
Extra large is not going to fit me.
No.
I mean, I'll be able to put it on. It'll just look like...
It'll look like a dress.
Yeah, it'll look like I'm...
You look like a 1990s gangster rapper.
Yeah. Like I have like I'm wearing a FUBU shirt or something.
Yeah, some sort of hooligan.
All right, everybody, that's what we have for you on this Friday night. I hope you liked it. Matt and I are just chilling here, and I can't wait to chill again with you all next week. It's going to start off with Jay Myers Documentaries on Monday, and we have a great guest we're bringing on Tuesday. I'll tell you all about her later on, but I will also probably stop in on you tomorrow night. I don't know when, but now that they got a good microphone at home at the home studio, I don't have to worry about bad audio anymore. So we'll see you when I see you. In the meantime, get over on the Gilded. Also, the weekend roundup is beginning right now on quitefrankly.tv. Hold on. What's this? Oh, this is from Lauren. Lauren says, "Do we need to break out an episode where you lose it on Optimum? Why? What happened, Lauren? What's that from? Oh, is she talking about the skits and everything else? Lauren texted me, I don't know, like a half hour ago, and I don't know what the hell she's talking about. Well, tonight on QuiteFrankly.tv, enjoy a spooktacular evening of mind-blowing videos. Then tonight's feature, An American Werewolf in London. That's on QuiteFrankly.tv right now. Cast to your television. You go there, you cast to your TV. It's not on a television app like YouTube or anything else, but it casts to your TV. Sit back and just have Quite Frankly TV on in the background and just do your thing. That's what I like doing. Anyway, see you soon. Matt, thanks for hanging out, man.
Thank you, Francis.
All right, that's all we have for you. Good night, and I'll wait one last chance to see the super chats. Gosh, the slowness of this computer is so worrisome. Let's see. Nothing there. Good. All well. Until next time, good night.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
Quite Frankly is filmed before a live studio audience, and now our super chatters, starting with Stowstube, Revolt, and Jay Britz. Thank you to our friends Cave Toad, to Lady Princey, to Selling the Farm, and Jay Semo. And we are going to release the Scratchin', and I hope everybody on pilled.net, on QuiteFrankly.tv, Foxhole, all of you guys and gals have a wonderful evening, and lots of good things coming your way. Good night.